done by the people that they said they did it, right? But whoever did it and whoever took over, those that took over using weapons of mass destruction, I would say 1812 war. You got this New Madrid earthquake, right? Everybody's talking to you about the New Madrid earthquake. I don't think it was an earthquake. You can't have 10,000 earthquakes over 6 months, destroy a place, and then not have another one again for another 200 years. Weapons of mass destruction. The place was carpet bombed. Those cities that you see, like out there at Death Valley and that John Levi showed all across the whole Midwest, remains of ancient cities were carpet bombed and destroyed. There's your New Madrid earthquake, right? Blame God, yeah, for something that they done. And when this place was wonderful and beautiful, and I'm doing what Frankie does now with his hands, right? If this place was wonderful and beautiful from New West Reset channel, suddenly one day it was hell on earth and genocide. And I can point out the lies to you. I can't. The truth is well hidden. It's hard to find, but the lies I can point out. Anyway, I can also point out this to you. Figure it out. Maybe some of you are so clever that by morning you'll have all this translated and put into a lovely video for me to really go to sleep tomorrow night, really content, knowing that all this has been sorted out. Yeah. Because I've got questions. You've got questions. Yeah. This world is not what we think it is. And if you're living in New Jersey, hey, Naz, that's my friend Naz in New York. He's just up the road a little bit. Naz, you're living around here, man. This has got to be looked into by someone with that critical ability. So Google it yourselves, get it out there, show it to everybody. How come International Space Station, as it flies over here, doesn't show us all of this stuff? They're too busy getting fat and playing with teddy bears and taking pictures of one another in gorilla suits to look down and see what's going on down here on the surface. So I have to go into space and do it for you. Yeah. And I did it a lot cheaper than they did it. In fact, I got no budget for this whatsoever. I'm going to start writing some letters and complaining about my situation here. I'm pointing out what's going on in this world for free. There you go. So make of that what you will, lovely people. And get your asses down to New Jersey and check all this shit out. And see if you can find any I think these, I told you before in the video, these explosions were water bombs. And you know how you do that? Let's say you've got 150 liters of water, only this is much, much bigger. That's H2O, 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen, right? So 100 liters of hydrogen will compress into a 12-liter container. 50 liters of oxygen will compress into a 7-liter container. That's 19 liters. If you combine them together, they will form 150 liters of water. So you have 131 liters of an ingredient in there that we're not being told about. Now, I've speculated on this. Is it ether? Is it something? I don't know what it is. But if you fire a device like that at someone, and it's designed to detonate on impact, you're going to have a shitload of water and a flood at the same time. It's definitely going to drown you. But you can imagine a huge dropped, maybe that, boom. The train tunnels that ran through the Grand Canyon, did they run trains down through there with massive containers with hydrogen and oxygen, combine them? Because you know what water's going to do. It's going to destroy the Earth. It's going to destroy the Grand Canyon. It's going to form the Grand Canyon. These Phoenicians, who are masters of water technology, are the people that's behind this. They're the people behind the earthquakes, the tsunamis, the volcanoes, and the bombardment of these superior, intelligent people, this community that lived here. This is the Garden of Eden.
All right, one last time. That is Jim Dillinger's video, and shout out to Jim for bringing this to our attention. And we will be going over these petroglyphs with Dutch Synths hopefully later today. And that Dutch has found some similar ones in Idaho, and that we've looked into them further on a couple of streams, and going to do some more on that coming up soon. And to finally finish this off, if Mr. Luke does not pick up here,
profound story.
We have Ancient Historia hopefully coming. If not, we will end it here in a little bit. Oh, maybe we do have Shem joining with Tartarian. Tartarian Truth might join, and hopefully I get a hold of Luke, and he will be joining. And here's some more Elongated Skull Talk with Brian Forrester, his most recent interview.
Literature, all the archaeologists say that the Inca built everything, and that their finest craftsmen were the ones who did the megalithic work. And it's like, no, that, you know, they were a Bronze Age civilization, and bronze is softer than hard stone, like granite, etc. So there must have been an older civilization. And so then I went back to Canada, and then 6 months later I went back to Peru.
Hello.
I've been going to Peru every 6 months, and then about 13 years ago, I bought a one-way ticket and just moved to Peru and just went, well, here we, you know, I tend to do my life path is based on my interest, not based on financial security or anything. So
I ain't what you say, bro. Fucking
go to Peru and survive, and it's worked out very well.
Well, yeah, I just want to say I consider you the premier megalithic expert of the world. You know, there are many others, and I got to give credit to individuals like Graham Hancock and John Anthony West and Robert Schock and many others that have looked at places like the Sphinx enclosure and the weathering and looked at other sites. But in my opinion, there's no one else like you who has gone to so many
courtyard built underground, and most people think that's it. But when you go to the right, you go inside this very big chamber with a corbelled roof like that. And then when you go to the other end, there's a tunnel that goes off to the right, like hundreds of feet long, and ends with a metal grid. And you look beyond it, and you see there's a staircase leading somewhere, but it's locked, so you can't go through there at the moment. But it's a very complex place. Another place is the Osiris Shaft that I've been able to go in twice, which is an underground complex, you know, a supposed tomb of Osiris, which is nonsensical, or even a symbolic tomb, which doesn't mean anything. And it's, you know, it goes 200 feet down into the bedrock, and there's no way that the dynastic people would have constructed that. They inherited it, and it's only been open to the public now by special permission for, I think, about 2 years now. You pay $2,400 and you get the place for 2 hours.
That's amazing, Brian. That would be an incredible experience to be able to go down there, let alone in there at all, but with it to yourself, without, you know, a bunch of tourists all around you. Really would be a magical experience that I would love to share sometime. But I'm curious. You mentioned Osiris, and that these boxes or tombs are more of a symbolic tomb, as in they're solid granite, right? They're solid. They're a solid material. So I wanted to ask you, I guess just your opinion, or based on what you've looked at, why would an advanced, sophisticated civilization like this build these structures and then build these boxes that have a symbolic value, that's a lot of work. What do you think was the purpose of it?
Well, in the case of a lot of the boxes, these boxes weigh up to 100 tons, and each one is made out of, like the lid and the box are made out of one piece of stone, because they also have other examples inside the Cairo Museum and outside the Cairo Museum, brought in from different locations. I think mainly from Saqqara, though. Saqqara is one of the largest archaeological sites in the world. Most of it is off limits still, but certain areas are open. And where the Serapeum, where there are 25 of these boxes, 2 of them unfinished, just massive in scale. Somehow whoever did the work had to have had artificial light, because if they don't turn the lights on when we go there, it's completely pitch black, and there's barely a foot of space to be able to turn the box to go down different corridors with them. And there's also a side chamber down at one end, which is locked. And fortunately, one time we were there and the guard opened it up for us, and we got to go into see another series of boxes. And he said, it keeps going. Like there's another door that's locked. And he said, no, you can't go through there. But he said, it keeps going and going and going. So these places are much bigger than what most people realize.
That's incredible. So like you said earlier on, as much as the Great Pyramid of Giza is magnificent, and it is, but there may be some of the greatest secrets in Egypt are actually below the ground. And I wanted to get your take on the purpose of some of these tunnel systems that connect to places like the Sphinx, because some people aren't aware, but you can see very noticeable entrances from both the top of the head as well as the paw and the backside, where there's even images of Zahi Hawass going down the stairs in there being like, nothing to see here, basically, right? And I'm just curious about your opinion about those tunnel systems, and what was the purpose of connecting something like the Sphinx to something like the Great Pyramid of Giza and some of the other things like the Tomb of the Birds and some other locations?
Well, yeah, the interesting thing is that some people speculate, like I think John Anthony West speculated that the Sphinx is probably 36,000 years old. So it's not simply 12,000. It's like he thinks it's 1.5 precessional cycles. And Robert Schoch, he changes his statement every once in a while. I think he's up to 12,000 years old now. But still, that's twice as old as the dynastic people. And also the causeway that goes from the Great Pyramid down to the Sphinx is built at an angle. Normally, the causeway would be 90 degrees from the flat surface of the pyramid. So it appears that the Great Pyramid was built after the Sphinx, and the reason for the angle was to miss the Sphinx because they couldn't go through it. Also, the tunnel system seems to be, it's north, south, east, and west, and it goes several stories underground. I've been 4 stories underground so far, but I've been told it goes at least 10, if not 20 stories down. And it's also believed that sites like Saqqara, which again is a massive location, that there's a tunnel system there that goes at least as far as the Giza Plateau that we think of, because Abdel Hakim Awiyan, who was an elder who died some years ago, he was filmed in a series called The Pyramid Code, and he stated that when he was young, he was able to go from Saqqara underground to Giza by crawling, swimming, and walking upright. And the unfortunate thing is that the exact location where the shaft is that he went down has been covered in concrete. So, again, this is a way for academics to try to hide the evidence of what's actually there.
So, Brian, it's so hard when you hear statements like that to not use that capital C word of conspiracy. It's very difficult, and it's for those who go down that road, you get labeled automatically when you start talking about this. But how can one hear what you just said countless times, right? These passages get closed up, they get cemented. You were visiting tunnel systems underneath the Giza, showing these incredible video of these places. Places like the Tomb of the Birds were discovered, and then they were exploring it, and then bars got put up right in the middle of the exploration. all these different moments keep happening where it seems like this information is being deliberately, I guess, covered up. Do you think that's just to protect this narrative that we have of history because it's too difficult to want to change it? I'm just curious, without getting too deep down that road, what's your opinion about why they do this?
Well, I think they're still trying to defend a paradigm, and the paradigm is that everything was built by the dynastic people. But the megalithic stuff clearly shows that that was not possible. So gradually what's happening now, thanks to videos I make and what other people are making, it shows the obvious evidence that there were at least two construction periods, the dynastic period and the pre-dynastic. And it's the difference between night and day. So the more we're able to film and expose this stuff, the more the general public is starting to catch on, and it will make Egypt a much more fascinating place to visit once this, this pandemic thing gets finished with. I think people will go to Egypt not simply for the pharaonic stuff, but for this other narrative that we're exposing. That there's all this stuff. Even some of the Egyptologists admit that only 15% of ancient Egypt is open to the public. 85% is still locked and it's all underground. That's why when you go to the Giza Plateau, you'll see lots of different doorways that are sealed shut with metal doors. But gradually, the authorities in Egypt are slowly starting to open some of these things up, like the Osiris Shaft, as I mentioned earlier. That was never open to the public until I think it was 2 years ago. And other places like the Serapeum at Saqqara, most people who visit Egypt don't even go there because the guides don't want to pay the extra fee, or the tour company doesn't want to pay the extra fee to go into it. But it's one of the most mind-boggling places there is on the planet.
I gotta say, I really feel like between Egypt and Peru and Bolivia, those two locations have so many megalithic secrets and underground places that you could almost spend a lifetime exploring them. And I'm encouraged by the work that you are doing and many others to change this paradigm, as you said, this paradigm of history that's tightly controlled as far back as perhaps the Roman Empire. But the point I'm trying to make is that paradigm changing now? Do you see any hints of that changing?
Yeah, I do. And actually, the guide we had in March, I can't actually mention his name because he's working on his PhD right now, and he knows about the ancient. He knows the difference between dynastic and dynastic, but he can't say anything about it on camera. So I had to be very careful just to film him at the dynastic sites and let him talk about Horus and Osiris and stuff like that. But he would pull me off to the side every once in a while and tell me about this stuff that is hidden there that he has seen himself, including a huge megalithic complex underneath the step pyramid at Saqqara. He said it's like an underground city that he was able to see once when he was much younger. And he believes that the new people in charge of the antiquities in Egypt will gradually open more and more of these places up, simply because they want the revenue, B, they want the tourists to come back, and C, some of the younger Egyptologists know that there is the pre-dynastic stuff, and gradually they're starting to talk about that. So that's changing the paradigm away from the controlling aspects of people like Zahi Hawass, who of course knew all of this stuff, but he would emphatically state, that all of it had to have been done by the dynastic people. A few days ago, supposedly Elon Musk sent out a tweet saying that the Great Pyramid was built by aliens, and automatically Zahi Hawass had to make a video saying, "How dare you, say such a thing?" Because obviously the dynastic people did, but he's lying through his teeth.
I couldn't agree more. To say he's not a hero of mine is probably an understatement. But since you brought it up, I got to ask, because people are going to say, Matt, come on, you got to ask. You've been on the show Ancient Aliens quite a few times. I am the type of person who has a different type of perspective. I don't use the word alien. I study things like who were these ancient gods, whether or not they were just symbolic or what. But I just wanted to get your take. These structures were built by we can obviously agree these structures were built by a sophisticated civilizations, if not a civilization, who had incredible knowledge about even potentially things like the diameter of our planet and even potentially the distance away from our sun. Do you think, I guess you can answer this however you're comfortable with, but what is your perspective on where this knowledge came from?
Well, the more I see it, the more I look at these places. Like, I've been to Egypt 8 times. I've been to Machu Picchu, I think 83 times. I've been to Ollantaytambo, which is behind you, more than 100 times. And the more that I visit these places, the more obvious it becomes that you have these 2 different construction styles. And as we know, some of this stuff would be very hard for us to do with modern 21st century machines.
You've got no audio, brother.
Good call. Good call. That's why we have Brother Luke with us. Yeah, so paused it there. Brian Forster, his latest interview. I can get the link. Here we go. In the live chat right now, posted Brian Forster. There we go. Shout out to Atlantis is Found, Mindful Exposures, Lady J Homestead, Mad, Eric Kopp, and everybody in the chat, Begabart, Silver Mist, and Luke. What's new with you, good sir? How's life? How have you been?
Yeah, I've been good, thank you. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Hopefully Dutch Sense's internet gets working, and we'll be doing another interview with him hopefully tonight or maybe tomorrow, depending on when the provider / government / NSA lets him reconnect to the internet. It's hilarious how we talked last night and announced that we'd be doing a stream, and then all of a sudden his internet gets cut again. But yeah, so I should state right now, I am going to end it on the BurnEye channel. I'm going to keep it going on Crypto Alchemist, and then I'm going to restart it on BurnEye as a Luke Ancient Historia interview with the BurnEye Ancient Alternative History Talk. And Atlantis is Found. Thank you for the support. Shout out, brother. Some of the best research info on YouTube. Bless you, sir. It is appreciated. And thank you, everybody, for being here and for the continued support. We'll go through some photos as well of some of the sites that I've been looking at. And Luke, what do you got planned for the rest of this summer?
I mean, I don't really plan things that far ahead.
Right? You're just like me. We just wing it, and then magical moments like this happen. And
yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so I think I posted the link for Crypto Alchemist. There we go. All right, so it is going to be ending now on BurnEye and then restarting on BurnEye right again in 2 minutes. Okay, it's ended. We've saved the changes. Then we edit it. And feel free to share on your Facebook, your Twitter, your Twitch, your YouTube, Luke, whatever you want, just feel free to get her out there. Or not. It doesn't really matter. Oh dear, did I not get it? Oh, I've reached the limit. Oh, it is on that Facebook. Okay, it's through the other. Oh, all right. we have ancient Historia. And are you feeling Luciferian today, sir? Are you how
I'm
are
always
things,
Luciferian.
right? But like, how are the riots going over there? Are you inflamed with social justice? The winds of change and fire in France inspiring the Lucas within, or are they?
Unfortunately, no, we're not friends, and my people are taking it. As always, taking it very well. You could do anything to us, and we just be like, yeah, it's all right.
Well, it's better than having like your city's on fire and like everybody being afraid for their lives and apartments being burnt and total anarchy that's going on.
I mean, you could say that about slavery, though, couldn't you? You could turn
Yeah,
around to the people, people in camps. You'd be like, "Look outside that camp. Look at all that fire.
very true.
You're lucky to not be part of that, aren't you? You're lucky to be in here with me, Mr. Slave Owner." But that's how you see. This is how society works. Okay, they want you to see this the degradation of society somewhere else, so that you're afraid, so that you think, "Oh, okay, well, what I've got is so much better." Because what you're seeing is so horrible. You're like, oh, okay, so everything I've got is fine, and that's where they get you. That's where they trick you, because what you're living in isn't fine. What we are all living in isn't fine. All right, it's slavery, and unfortunately, we've got to stand with our French brothers and sisters. They're standing up to the system. I'm liking it. I want to see this happening all over Europe. I want to see everybody standing up and taking control and saying no more, because we're run by corporations that decide when they want wars, corporations that decide, you know what, we don't have enough immigration, therefore we
need to
blow up
stand
Ukraine
up for peace and against war and have anti-war peaceful protests. Though we don't want to burn down our own cities. We do not.
No, we do. We want to burn everything down.
I'm gonna have to disagree, just for the sake of YouTube. Don't disown us. We are.
Oh
not
yeah, you're right. Yeah, nobody burn down your cities.
Do not burn down your city.
Don't do that.
But we need to free the bonds of this slavery and abolish it into a fair system.
No,
for
we
all.
do. Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. This is where we've got to go. We've got to start unifying, because we're all friends. Okay, we don't come on here. We don't come in these chats and want to war with each other. I'm not sat here at the end of one of these discussions thinking I would love to nuke BurnEye right now. But unfortunately, the people in control can make that decision. They can decide, oh no, I do want to nuke these people.
I pray to God they never do.
Well, fortunately, in Canada, I presume you're not going to be the first target on the list, but there are people out there in the world that are the first target on the list. And, at the end of the day, why do we accept this? Why do we accept this level? Like, think about it. Putin, dickhead. Our governments, the UN, EU, dickheads, right? Why do we allow this? Why do we allow them to have these wars? Why do we allow them to send? Well, you know what it's about? It's about immigration, because immigration provides
protest it.
Well, this thing is that immigration provides cheap workforce. So if you can blow up a country and you've got thousands of men fleeing to your country, and they're thankful, like, thank you for taking me, thank you, oh my god, thank you, and it's fine, mate, I'm a lovely guy, I'd do that for you any day, go on, get to work on the farm. That's it. That's literally what it is. Like,
true.
And this isn't a new thing. This is how it's been for 100 years, 200 years, 300 years. Yeah. This is it. Create a systematic issue in a country, and you're going to have an infinite amount of people willing to do anything to escape that country. So you can be like, oh, come on in. No, don't worry. Oh, we'll look after you. Just go pick some grapes. Go on. And that's how we get them. And then they're ours, because they don't have enough money to leave, and they don't have enough money to buy a property.
You say
all they've got is enough money to what?
When you say ours, as we've got them, who are you
Our
saying you're a
countries.
slave
Our
owner?
countries.
Oh,
No,
okay.
obviously
Oh,
not.
our
Our
masters.
countries.
I got you.
We've got them. Yeah, yeah. Well, we're part of it because we live in those countries.
Yeah, we're part of the enslaved, are we not?
Well, I mean, we're enslaved, but the
Yeah.
way the
We
system
need to
works is by it.
protest and we need to break the
Well,
chains within
yes, yeah.
the.
It provide a system, right? So if you're right, this is actually one of the best examples of why it's a big deal about slavery. Because if they can make a big deal out of slavery and they can say, look, that's slavery, then you can say, oh, well, I'm clearly not a slave because that's slavery. So look over there, that's slavery. That's what slavery is. So you go, okay, we don't do that, but you're still a slave. And that's all it is. It's like Chicken Run. It's like convincing the chickens that they're not part of Chicken Run. You know, make them watch Chicken Run and go, oh, look how bad the chickens get treated in Chicken Run. And the chickens go, oh, yeah, okay, we get it all right. And they still get their heads cut off and served for food. But they think because of what they're seeing, their propaganda, they think, oh, okay, no, we've not got it that bad. And we're the same. We look at slavery and we say, oh, well, I'm not forced to work. I'm not forced. I'm not whipped. But it's like, well, no, but if you don't work, you won't have food, you won't have a house. So you are forced to work. And if you're not born into the right society, your force of work will be like McDonald's or working, you know, driving a bus or just any of the real, what they call low skill labor. So that you're like, oh, you know, I'm low skilled. I deserve this low amount of money. But it's bullshit. It's absolutely bollocks because when a robot takes your job, what are they going to do with you? You know, when a robot can drive your bus route, what are they going to do with you? When a robot can flip your burgers, what are they going to do with you? When a robot can do anything we can do, what do you think these rich men and women are going to do with us? Do you think they're going to
AI can write the scripts and
yeah, exactly. Do you think they're going to pat us on the back and say, "Oh, well done, come on, oh, congratulations, come on in, you worked so hard, and now we figured it out. Come on in, chill with us." No, of course not. They're going to let us starve, and that's what they're preparing for. They're preparing for the bunkers and the starvation because they know that it's about to hit this point where suddenly everybody goes, "Wait a minute," and that's it.
And that's it. And that's it. What do you think of these guys? Are these guys the actual controllers?
What, the long head skull people?
Yeah.
I don't reckon so.
You don't think they're the controllers?
No.
I think they might be. Karen Hughes thought they were.
I mean, if they were, they wouldn't let their skulls be be found like this, would they? They wouldn't let them be talked about. I like to go with the basis of whatever's being promoted. It's probably the opposite.
Forster has them everywhere else in Peru. Everywhere else has like stolen them and like made them disappear and stuff. So shout out again to Brian Forster at the beginning and end of, well, just before we came on here. Because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the actual documentation and being able to get the blood test or the DNA tests that he got done with LA Marzullo, and you know that they're half human, half alien hominid genetics apparently. And Karen Hughes, she worked for the World Bank. Have you heard of her?
Why would you assume that they were in control though?
Because Karen Hughes, the whistleblower, she was a World Bank employee high up, and then she left and claimed that there was in Malta and in the Vatican and in the World Bank these freaking remaining elongated skull folk that were in very low numbers that still lived underground, hiding, that were remnants from the Atlantean times.
So if they're living underground and they're hiding, they're definitely not in charge then.
Well, like they're blending in because they're in low numbers, and it's like,
are you sure though? Because like the way I see it is, our governments are the ones that are trying to paint the mystery story, right? So with UFO stuff, it's exactly the same. if they're telling you, if they're trying to insinuate that these guys are the bad guys, I would bet money these guys are the good guys. Like, just play opposite day. These guys they're hiding underground because they're trying, you know, our governments will be trying to kill them left and right. You know, if they come out and go, hey guys, how you doing? They get shot in the head straight away, and the government's like, so
right. It does seem Brian Forster said like his first presentation with the Paracas ones in Peru that their genetics came from, and they 2,000 to 3,000 years ago they fled from Crimea, Little Tartary, and that
I've just been making a video on Little Tartary actually today.
Right. Shout out London McLovin in the chat as well.
London's in. We should get him in, you know. I've joined enough of his chats. I feel like we should allow him.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt indeed. Let's get in here.
Yeah, he's like, Link, shout me in.
Right, like so anyways, the beginning of it, he was showing that they came from Crimea, aka Little Tartary, and that they were fleeing, and that they ended up settling in Paracas, but they sucked at agriculture even though they were more advanced people, aka they were kings and they had servants growing their shit for them back in you know, the Black Sea and in Crimea, that whole area, and that there was some sort of revolution. And also in, you know, the ancient times, Akhenaten, the big skull, that they used to be in charge, and then at some point they got all massacred or underground, had to go underground or something, where they're no longer seen by the regular people whatsoever, and they're no longer seen as royalty, and they've had to flee because they've been getting genocided. And then it showed that the last of the ones in Paracas, he also showed, were all destroyed and genocided and massacred again. So it's quite possible that they could be good and getting killed, or maybe they're evil and every time they get discovered, they get killed. One or the other. Who, you know, but we need to know who they are and not kill them. We have London Spielberg with us. What up, London, man? Good to see you, sir.
Salutes. What's going on, family? How we doing, boys?
Yes, Trey. How you going?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
I did not expect you to have such a fucking good beard. Look at that.
Oh, shit.
Look at that. That's a proper wisdom beard that, you know, you can trust them.
Woo! Respect, bro. Respect.
I can't grow a beard, man. This is it. This is fucking it.
Looking good, brother. Looking good.
This is about 3 weeks worth. It's not looking good at all.
3 weeks. Okay.
I'm not joking. I can shave this.
I wasn't talking to you, Lucifer.
Oh, okay.
Talking to the other UK brother in the house.
I'm not kidding. I could be here for 50 years and I'd probably get, you know, just a bit of a 5 o'clock shadow this way.
It will come. It will come with no, I don't
when I enter puberty.
I was okay.
Fucking hell, Luke. Jesus Christ. That was funny. Yeah.
Glad you're enjoying
it.
Choking, making him choke, trying to kill him. Jeez, not very.
Oh well, I'm known for making people choke. That's my thing.
Oh shit!
Got that big history, Dick.
Well. Big swinging ancient history book.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
London, what do you think of these giant skulls?
I think they're
big
very.
Head, yeah.
Fucking hell, Luke. Oh my gosh.
Go on, give the man his skull. Go on.
He's on fire, boy. Jeez. Boy, do you know what? crypto. I've seen them about a few times. Are they from Egypt? Were they
These
discovered in
ones are
Egypt?
from Paracas, Peru, and
Yeah, I was
they're
gonna say they're Peruvian, aren't they?
yeah, these ones are all Peruvian. And Brian Forster, he's the one that has them in a special like local museum in Peru that and has had special rights to get them tested and has got them actually samples sent and DNA tested, gotten them back, and they're only 50% Homo sapien and 50% completely alien to Earth, apparently.
Interesting.
To be fair, you've got the in Africa. I'm pretty certain you've got the thing where the tribes would apply the pressure around the skulls for the young ones
the
to
skull
elongate their
binding.
skulls.
He goes into that
Yeah.
in detail too.
So,
So
I might be wrong, but is that something that occurred in Australia?
yeah, everywhere, all over the world, literally, to like up until about 500 years ago, and actually some even only 100 years ago. Close to me in Western Canada, in the islands, Vancouver Island natives. He showed a picture of just 100 years ago. We're still doing the skull binding. And in Africa, just 100
Well, yeah,
years ago.
people are saying that it could be, an aspect of like we've witnessed our gods and therefore we want to emulate them.
Oh, exactly. And that you still had divinity of that bloodline to rule if you had that elongated skull as well in the royal families and stuff.
Hey, but my thing is this now, right? We've got a lot of these on display, as we can see. But how come when we look at some of these old ancient pictures, no one's really got these type of skulls or head shapes?
But
That's very
they all
correct.
wearing them giant pointy hats, though.
You think that they're hiding the skulls under the hats?
Look
Big
at
old
the kings
fuckhead.
and queens. Actually, yeah, it's a good time for me to pull up some of them pictures.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. Do you think it's possible it was just royalty with this type of head shape?
Yeah,
That's a
exactly.
very,
It was
yeah,
literally
100%,
royalty everywhere around the world, and the priesthoods exactly that.
Okay.
Hiding that shit in it,
That makes
I
more
get
sense.
you.
I mean, I have seen recent pictures when it's got like people out in Africa and places like this when it's got babies doing it, but maybe this teaching is just for everyone now. But once upon a time, like we're saying, it might have just been for royalty for some degree.
100% it was.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm pretty certain that I've seen some
That was a big part
the
of
skull
it.
related to the Egyptian stuff. Another thing that comes up with the Egyptian pharaohs, which is something they don't talk about, is that they all seem to be ginger,
What?
Not all,
Yeah.
not all pharaohs. No, don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
no,
But
Brian
Ramesses
Forster was
II,
talking about that as well. You
yeah,
guys
Ramesses II,
follow it.
100%. Right, two things about him: A, he was ginger. B, he actually had cocaine in his stomach.
Wow.
Yeah, and cocaine comes from South America. So, Egyptians are not supposed to have known about South America. So there's no way, by scientific means, that there could have been cocaine in Ramesses II's stomach, but there was. So it's evidently come from South America. I mean, unless there was like, in the past, cocaine growing in Africa, which implies something completely different. But
They most likely international trade as there is today, or intercontinental.
well, exactly.
trade.
Yeah. I mean, I've not made a video on this yet. I've been meaning to for about 6 months, but one of the biggest things is, have you heard about Michigan copper?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, and that they found
So
it.
so
I
So Michigan,
feel
around
the
it's late Michigan, but is it Lake Superior or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, or
But there's
Ontario maybe.
big areas around there. So basically, around Lake Michigan, around where Michigan is, there's all these copper mines, and they had copper, and 90% of it they can't account for. So for 10%, they can go, okay, well, that's that tribe, and this tribe have taken some. But for 90%, they know where it's gone. They know it's gone. It's been mined, but they don't know where it's gone. And that's really important, because there is an unconfirmed theory about something called the Alborum wreck near Turkey, which would have been around the Phoenician areas, which is a Phoenician boat supposedly filled with copper, specifically copper from Michigan, which would obviously imply they were able to travel over to America in the, well, I don't know when you want to say it is, 600 BC, 700 BC, something like that. The Michigan copper is one of the biggest mysteries to tackle, because it's gone, and I'm surprised more people haven't made videos about it, because it's just so easy. It's just like, it was there, now it's gone. Where's it gone? That's your video. Like you could do a good video on that, just being like, where the fuck is it? Like, we found these tribes that have got a small amount of the copper.
A series on this motherfucking missing copper.
Series.
And I think Terry Carter, the treasure hunter down in Nevada, might know where some of it is.
You know what, as well, right? One of my biggest supporters, he's called Rory. If he's listening, he deserves a cuddle, a snuggle, and whatever you can provide, Mr. London Spielberg. No, the guy's an absolute legend. He's sending me a drone, you know. He's sending me a drone all the way from America. He's sending me a drone that can follow me up the mountains when we go on these hikes. So yeah. Hey, guys, Big Rory, fucking round of applause to Big Rory.
Round of applause for Rory.
Yes.
And
damn right.
Shout out to Teresa that got me my drone that I am finally also getting hooked up in the next 2 days. I am finally, after the stream is done, putting my phone into my computer, uploading all the photos, and then switching over my phone to the new one so that I can actually start operating my drone. And we will be going to all sorts of new places with the dronage.
And if you guys want to send me any other stuff like weed or stuff, like, feel free.
Me too. Me too. I'm all out. Yeah, all three. Yeah.
Hey, yo, Mr. Canada, you've got it legal up there. Me in London, actually, we're the ones struggling.
Hey! Don't make me mute you out, mofos.
Please don't make me abuse my power.
Oh God!
But yeah,
these YouTube streets, dog, working these YouTube streets.
There you go. Hey, I've just shared this out as well, just to let you know. I just shared it out.
Nice. Much love. And yeah, feel free to restream if you want as well. The ability is there. And this is my trip to Red Canyon. And it was...
Wow. Red Canyon? Where is this?
Red Canyon, Waterton National Park. And it was one hell of a time and an exploration. It's in southern Alberta.
Is that Canada?
And I'm going to freeze. Oh dear.
Alberta, yeah, I think. That's
oh dear, I've got a potato. I need a new computer, eh?
Yeah, it needs a new computer. I don't know why I turned foreign. Yeah, Alberta's Canadian. Western Canada.
Western Canada, eh? That's me, eh?
I've located another bird in Canada.
I'm in Berta, baby.
I've located a bird in Canada. She says everything about.
Everything's about Berta, baby. Red Canyon, check it out. And
you know what? I didn't think that was a real
all
thing.
The way up, there's a couple of red mountains that.
That looks nice.
It goes way up. And so this is the bottom. It goes all the way down. Oop. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. The potato's freezing. There we go. The quartz in between are quite interesting. Water,
it's
very
funny
nice
that I was
beautiful.
the one with the potato 6 months ago.
I know. See, you say you're doing bad. No, you're doing good. I'm the one with the potato now.
I just knew how to spend my money, bro.
Hey, I bought this potato not long ago. It doesn't do the trick.
I
It
built
wasn't good
mine.
enough.
I built mine. That's
I know.
Hey.
I need to build one.
What's that?
I need.
What's that stuff on? Oh, is that okay?
So we got all of this quartz or something in between.
I like the
and
pattern on
red,
the floor, like how it
right?
stained red, the way it stained red on the floor.
Yeah, it's like
yeah, for real.
part of these.
It's like the sandstone was molten.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Have you, London? Have you seen my newest pole shift video?
Yeah, I watched some of it. Yeah, that's dope. I like the way how you
Yeah,
predicted
yeah.
it, where you said it's going to end up. Because you know what, my friend Dino,
Yeah.
he's been looking into that as well, and it's quite interesting. So I might have
Well,
to
I
do
thought,
a
you know, it was mad
recap.
how, like, when I've been attending to the video, I obviously, you know, me and talk about the capitals of Tartaria, and late Baikal just came up. So I was talking about Baikal, and I was sat there just like thinking, like, why am I chatting so much about Baikal? I should just cut this shit, you know what I mean? And then it got to the end, and I was like, oh, it turns out this magnetic anomalies at late Baikal, and it's like, okay.
And
I'll just leave
freshwater dolphins and giant arthropods and all sorts of crazy
Well,
things.
this is
on.
right.
it's
Yeah,
just
this is the
so
thing you've
much.
got right. This is the most important thing that people won't be realizing, because I didn't talk about the implications of all this stuff. So the idea being that the sediment layers laid down by these events is so big that it creates the striation marks you see even in the Grand Canyon. So when you see these layers, you know, it's definitely certain material, then it's a layer down. I mean, I was thinking this, maybe with the whole Grand Canyon thing, maybe it isn't that it is that it itself is the issue, as in when we talk about these pyramids being in the Grand Canyon, what if they've just been washed there and people emerged out of them, kind of like arcs, you know, like arcs. You've got an arc, you get everyone inside, you seal the doors, everything happens, and then they land somewhere and they all come out. And that was, to me, what might be the like when you look at the holes in the walls, the caves, the cavern systems that seem to be available, particularly in the Grand Canyon region. I'm thinking maybe this is some kind of event where everything's been laid down there and the people have emerged from underneath, you know, kind of just like confused. But
yeah, quite possibly. Like, look at Derinkuyu and all the underground cities of Turkey and the Mideast and stuff.
Hey,
what's even weirder when you look at like the places, sorry to interrupt you by the way, London, but when you look at the places like this that are affected by it, and then you look at places like Europe where we're seemingly not affected, I think that the effects are so much bigger. Like you can see the striation marks in Siberia, Hudson Bay in Canada, you know, these same kind of effects that are so brutal. Like this, it looks like a nice serene thing, but just to carve the holes in those rocks takes violent water. Like just to make those marks takes violent water flowing for so long to cut away all that stuff.
Sure
you know what I mean?
Hey, Luke, that's what I wanted to say before I forget. Sorry to cut you, bro.
No, feel free.
You know how you brought up Lake Baikal, right?
Yeah.
From my understandings and what I can see, and the images that I've been coming across, right, it seems like these pole shifts seem to be going from beast to beast. Right now, the reason why I'm saying that, because I think most of the lakes, or the lakes that are on this land and the oceans and these things, they was once beasts. They used to be living creatures. I've got some pictures that it's kind of looking like Lake Baikal was a beast.
This could potentially be petrified titan in blood veins and muscle, right? Like that is one potential possibility. And here it was they tried to have it closed off for construction, quote unquote. But when I got past the construction site, snuck into the closed area, it actually looks a lot more block-like and like it might have actually been constructed and could be geopolymer. I'm not like it.
I know it would seem like that, but the way that it's suggested by like books by Chan Thomas is, so if you look at those, well, yeah, those areas, you see where you've got a line of gray just going through the rock.
It's pure. No, so it's white. It's not gray. It's actually pure white.
Well, yeah, gray, yeah, where there's different colors, right? So the suggestion by the idea would be that what's happened is, as the water has crushed across this land, it's deposited that layer.
Look at these straight, what look like straight cuts, and it goes through a second one, not just this piece, but also this one.
Well, yeah. But to be fair, if you were making that geopolymer, you're not gonna make it to via two different colors, are you? Right? I reckon the idea that it's been deposited there in such a violent matter is possibly.
That look like it's got shape to it, like it's got a type of.
Well, it looks like it's flowing. Like it looks like the white is flowing through the red almost.
Yeah.
There it's different. There shows you how it's almost like layers. Yeah.
Really block-like right there. Pretty block-like.
And it's even in sections. You can see it's in sections, that one.
Yeah. Here, kind of too. Very beautiful. Surreal place. Next time I will have the drone. And that next time is next week when I go to the Medicine Hat Badlands Guardians, which is going to be absolutely epic.
Nice.
I did end up going for a bit of a swim in it. It was so nice and refreshing, despite the fact that it was the dog that pulled me down. And I saved the camera, kept it above water at all times. That's all that mattered. We might have a video play that was me getting up from being immersed in the water. I'm not sure
what
if it
kind of camera
transferred
are you
over. A Sony something or other.
Looks pretty good.
Oh,
look at that.
There's Waterton Lodge.
Waterton Lodge.
Was it a secret lodge or?
The alpha male appears at the secret lodge, not prepared for what kind of sexual advances are awaiting him.
Duke of something or other, freaking.
What is that poking up?
Something, right? Like
that is the mountain's penis.
Right? Like, look at this stuff.
That's how mountains create other mountains.
Yeah.
Just every now and then you'll hear a rumble, and then the mountain will jizz into the air, and then it will create. So some people call it a volcano, but yeah, that's bullshit. It's just mountain cum.
Jizzcano.
Yeah, jizzcano. Damn right.
Waterton right there.
I want you to steal one of their boats. I want to steal one of their boats right now.
Listen to this little hooligan. Luke, you're going to get yourself on the list, bro.
I'm
How
already
are
on
you
a
gonna
list.
come to Vegas if you're on a list? Jeez.
Vegas.
I don't know. I
Vegas.
still need to get me a passport again. Should probably email it.
Is that a hotel or what?
I don't know. But yeah, it is a hotel,
Look at that.
right? Looking kind of pyramidy and
That looks
interesting.
wild.
It definitely does. And there was wild sheep. Like, yo,
Mm.
don't mess
Do you know what that
with
reminded me
me.
of? Actually, I was watching what's it called? Thor: Love and Thunder, and they got some crazy sheeps that drag them around. Yeah, there you go.
Y'all
You know,
know
Luke.
them sheep.
Oh my god, Jesus!
Straight away, I knew what you were talking about.
I love
Oh
it.
my god, yeah. But you know what, as well, though, bro, I caught so many gems in that. I had to record it. There's so many gems I caught in that. I'm probably going to show it tomorrow. Gems in that one, bro.
Nice. Gems and gold nuggets.
What?
There you go. Yeah. They were nuts.
You need to go
Mate,
back
you
to
gotta
the
commit.
sheep shootout.
If you want to do it, you gotta commit, ain't you?
Yeah,
My
you gotta
boots
have the
down.
sheep coming at you.
I see Brian Evans in the building. Salutes, bro. Much love.
But Bernie's just lost his ear.
Ah!
Look at that.
I'm
I'm gonna come back later to hear how my fucking scream was.
Coming at you, bro. Look at that. I wouldn't mess with them. I made sure the dog.
I feel like you need
was
to defo show the screaming fucking goats now. Just so
Yeah!
Yeah, hilarious.
And the waterfall. Ooh, waterfall.
I just watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3 about like 20 minutes before I jumped into the stream.
How is it? Is
Oh,
that
it's
an old
amazing.
one or a new one?
No, new one. It's
Oh,
well,
nice.
it came out like 6 months
much
ago, but it's
I
just
know.
come out on on DVD or whatever.
Beautiful.
To see that. Yeah, there's been a
Right,
lot
anyway, boys, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna try and source some weed because my life.
Yeah, I
is
gotta
miserable.
go
I've
drive
got
the
but
wife
anyway,
to work, so that works for
well,
me.
I'll catch you guys in a
well.
bit. Anyway,
been
much
fun,
love.
bro. Much love.
Much
Catch
love,
me tomorrow
much
if
love.
you're available.
Faux show, and yeah, because this stream has been going for 6.5 hours, so I should probably get on with my life and drive the wonderful wife to work. And we are closing with these beautiful pictures of Waterton National Park, Alberta, Canada, which is a yeehaw Calgary Stampede going on today, starting up.
Nice, good stuff. Hey, Bernie, let me
Beautiful
love you and
bunch
leave
of
you, bro. I'll let you close out. Much love,
Much
bro.
love, London. Thanks for
Thanks for
coming on,
having me.
brother. See you around
Anytime.
and be on a panel soon, my friend.
Much love. Peace out.
Much respect, my friend. So pretty beautiful lake all in all. And this is where I ran out of card space. So here we go, and backwards scrolling through the Waterton trip. And waterfall flowing backwards. It's going up the mountain. Oh my goodness, what's happening? The world is in reverse. And then there was a goat or a sheep's ass. And then we continued on backwards. Pyramid-looking mountains. Le Chateau de Le Prince Duke of somewhere in the UK. Even though we had independence in Canada Day, they still own all the chateaus and the hotels and all the nice national park places. And here is Red Canyon, also in Waterton National Park. Absolutely beautiful. Water flowing backwards, water flowing backwards. Up the mountain it goes. 'Cause we're going backwards. Yes, we are. Just like modern Western society. Everything is backwards because we live in clown world, where Hunter Biden most likely left a bag of cocaine in the White House yesterday, or on the 4th of July, sorry. And yeah, what another scandal. Is anybody going to get thrown under the bus? They're like, no, nobody's losing their job for Hunter. And no, we can't yet throw this douchebag in jail. Not until they get voted out. And then they'll probably run to China seeking amnesty. I don't know. Traitorous, corrupt, devilish people. Power corrupts all, I guess. Happy July 6th, everyone. France is it still burning? Did it spread to Denmark and Sweden and whatnot, or what? Yep, it's still burning. Is that still burning? Right. Up the canyon we go, with Red Canyon to the left and a Red Canyon to the right. Ports in the middle, and it looks pretty tight. It was really fresh, cold glacier water. It was refreshing. I drank a little, and the dog drank a bunch. And that looks like a snake more than a hunch. There are a bunch of ancient petroglyphs, but they've kind of been ruined by graffiti, which sucks. This was an old cement block that was apparently, this was right below the new bridge and was apparently from the old bridge. Right, this quartz stuff just there is fascinating. So yes, if everybody, oh, there's my mama helping me out and taking me to Medicine Hat here for the birthday. We are going, and we will be at the Medicine Hat Badlands next week. Does that almost look like a carving? My God, what is going on? And the forest. Oh, the flowers, fields of flowers. There's a lot of wildflowers. And there was a lot of dead trees from a previous forest fire, but new trees growing and more red rocks. I collected samples from here. Hiked up here with the dog. There's D2, my loyal canine. The Red Rocks of Waterton National Park, Alberta. Beautiful wildflowers. That's the drive to Red Canyon. There's my mama. And that's the entrance to Waterton. I think. Oh, there might be a little bit more. Ooh. And this is why I ran out of photos. Oh, here's Waterton Park. Oh, is that a BurnEye? Do we have a BurnEye and a T2? There's a BurnEye. We got a Sasquatch. We ended it with a Sasquatch. A bear man Sasquatch unicorn. Yes, that is what I self-identify as. Boop. These fascinating possible megaliths. Cows, hay bales. Possible megaliths. Possible megaliths. Possible megaliths. More possible megaliths. And cows. And hay bales. And yeah, there we go. All right, we're gonna stop that screen share, and this was an epic 6.5 hour long stream. Thank you all for joining and being a part of the team. All donations go towards funding the next trip down to the Medicine Hat Badlands Guardians, aka this guy's face, Crypto Alchemist there. And boom, we're going to go exploring this guy. This guy right here in 1 week's time, July 14th. Not even, my God, 6 days time or 4 days time. We're going to be down here. And we're also going to be here in Orion, Alberta, where these giant balls are. Bernie's going to claim some balls in Orion, Alberta, which is right next to Medicine Hat Badlands Guardians. And we're going to try to find these earthworks. We're going to take the drone out. We're going to fly it up and search this area. This Olmec face, this guy right here, I don't know, this Viking troll guy. Try to get to all 4 or 5 of these geoglyph sites in the valley Also going to try to check out this guy, the long-nosed dudes of and the Moyai guy here. All in this valley, right? All in the Medicine Hat Badlands valleys. We're gonna find this guy. We're gonna find this guy, aka this guy. Yeah, it is this guy. And that is what we are doing in less than 1 week's time. So all donations are appreciated and needed to make this fully happen and get to this site. And if I get enough donations, I can get to this site at the same time. Omagh, Canada's Stonehenge, which is pretty close to this site. Also, there is Writing on Rock, petroglyph site close by as well. I would like to try to get to all of them if possible, but funds are very limited. Thank you everyone for being here. Bless you all, and we will see you all on the next one, which hopefully, with any luck, will be with Dutch Sense in a few hours, possibly, but we will see. Love you all. Shout out to Full F. Been here all 6.5 hours. Yeah.